Okay, we're back with 2nd Chronicles chapter 4. Furnishings for the temple. Solomon also made a bronze altar, 30 feet long, 30 feet wide, and 15 feet high. Then he cast a large round tank, 15 feet across from rim to rim. It was called the Sea. It was 7.5 feet deep and about 45 feet in circumference. The sea was, excuse me while I turn the page. The sea was encircled just below its rim by 2 rows of figures that resembled oxen. There were about 6 oxen per foot all the way around, and they had been cast as part of the tank. The sea rested on a base of 12 bronze oxen, all facing outward. 3 faced north, 3 faced west, 3 faced south, and 3 faced east. The walls of the sea were about 3 inches thick, and its rim flared out like a cup and resembled a lily blossom. It could hold about 16,500 gallons of water. He also made 10 basins for water to wash the offerings, 5 to the south of the sea and 5 to the north. The priests used the sea itself and not the basins for their own washing. Solomon then cast 10 gold lampstands according to the specifications that had been given, and put them in the temple. 5 were placed against the south wall, and 5 were placed against the north wall. He also built 10 tables and placed them in the temple, 5 along the south wall and 5 along the north wall. Then he molded 100 gold basins. Solomon also built a courtyard for the priests, and the large outer courtyard. He made doors for the country yard entrances and overlaid them with bronze. The sea was placed near the southeast corner of the temple. Hiram-Abi also made the necessary pots, shovels, and basins. So at last Hiram-Abi completed everything King Solomon had assigned him to make for the temple of God: 2 pillars, 2 bowl-shaped capitals on the top of the pillars, 2 networks of chains that decorated the capitals, 400 pomegranates that hung from the chains on the capitals, 2 rows of pomegranates for each of the chain networks that were hung around the capitals on top of the pillars, the water carts holding the basins, the sea and the 12 oxen under it, the pots and the shovels and the meat hooks, and all the related utensils. Excuse me. Hiram-Abi made all these things out of the burnished bronze for the temple of the Lord, just as King Solomon had requested. The king had them cast in clay molds in the Jordan Valley between Succoth and Zerathon. Such great quantities of bronze were used that its weight could not be determined. So Solomon made all the furnishings for the temple of God: the gold altar, the tables for the bread of the princes, the lampstands and their lamps of pure gold to burn in front of the most holy place as prescribed, the flour, decorations, lamps and tongs, all of pure gold, the lamp snuffers, basins, dishes, and fire pans, all of pure gold, the door for the entrances to the most holy place, and the main room of the temple overlaid with gold. 2nd Chronicles chapter 5. The ark brought to the temple. When Solomon had finished I apologize. When Solomon had finished all the work related to building the temple of the Lord, he brought the gifts dedicated by his father King David, including all the silver and gold, all the utensils. These were stored in the treasures of the temple of God. Solomon then summoned the leaders of all the tribes and families of Israel to assemble in Jerusalem. They were to bring the Ark of the Lord's covenant from the location in the city of David, also known as Zion, to his new place in the temple. They all assembled before the king at the annual festival of shelters in early autumn. When the leaders of Israel arrived, the Levites moved the ark along with the special tent and all its sacred utensils. The Levitical priests carried them all up to the temple. King Solomon and the entire community of Israel sacrificed sheep and oxen before the ark in such numbers that no one could keep count. Then the priests carried the ark of the Lord's covenant into the inner sanctuary of the temple, the most holy place, and placed it beneath the wings of the cherubim. The cherubim spread their wings out over the ark, forming a canopy over the ark and its covering poles. These poles were so long that their ends could be seen from the front entrance of the temple's main room, the holy place, but not from outside it. They are still there to this day. Nothing was in the ark except the 2 stone tablets that Moses had placed there at Mount Sinai. When the Lord made the covenant with the people of Israel after they had left Egypt. Then the priests left the holy place. All the priests who were present had purified themselves, whether or not they were on duty that day. And the Levites who were musicians, Asaph, Heman, Jeduthun, and all their sons and brothers were dressed in fine linen robes and stood at the east side of the altar, playing cymbals, harps, and lyres. They were joined by 120 priests who were playing trumpets. The trumpeters and singers performed together in unison to praise and give thanks to the Lord. Accompanied by trumpets, cymbals, and other instruments, they raised their voices and praised the Lord in these words. He is so good, he's faithful, his faithful love endures forever. At that moment, a cloud filled the temple of the Lord. The priests could not continue their work because the glorious presence of the Lord filled the temple of God. Okay, and with that, chapter 6 is kind of long, so I will come back and read that later.